Hi, first graders. Today we're going to work on some more math, and our math lesson today is going to follow counting patterns, but we're going to count by tens today instead of ones. So let's listen to our essential question, and then we will be able to move on with our lesson, okay?
How do numbers change as you count by tens to 120?
So like I said, we're thinking about counting by tens instead of ones. So let's practice right now just so we can get our brains going. Counting by tens to 100. Count with me. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. But we didn't get to 120. So they're pushing us even further today. They want us to count to 120. Let's see what they've got.
Hi there! Fruits and vegetables are so good for you. I see someone picked a whole bunch of big juicy tomatoes and is getting ready to put them in baskets of 10. Count the tomatoes in the first row to make sure there are 10. Then click the row.
Okay, so she wants us to count the tomatoes in the first row just to make sure there's 10. So we're going to start by counting by ones, even though I know I told you guys we were going to count by tens. Count with me just to double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we careful counted and we can agree there are 10 in this row, which means since they're the same length, there is 10 tomatoes in every other row.
Wow! There are 10 tomatoes in each row. How many rows are there? Here are 3 rows, and here are 2 more rows. That makes 5 rows. That seems like a whole lot of tomatoes. I wonder how many there are. Counting by tens might help us find out. Let's see what we can learn.
So friends, she's using the word rows, and I want to make sure that you guys understand what that means. A row is this. And this is a new row. And a new row. And a new row. And the last row. So she's counting that there's 5 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And she's saying, so if we know, because we counted that there are 10 tomatoes in each row, how can we figure that out? Do we have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, count all those by ones? I don't think so. Think in your head right now. What's a faster and easier way that we could use to count all these tomatoes up without counting by ones? Watch this, friends. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So if we know there's 10 in each row and we count by tens 5 times, we can get 50 tomatoes. Easy peasy lemon squeezy without having to count from 1 to 50. Let's see what else they've got for us.
Let's use a 100 chart to count forward by tens, starting from 10. Click the first row to start counting. 10, 20,
20,
30, 40,
40,
50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Do you see a pattern in the numbers counted? All the numbers that were counted are in the same column, and they all have a 0 in the ones place. What number would come before 10 in the pattern? Click 10 to find out.
So she used another big word before we move on. I know we just talked about that this is a row. She used the word column. A column is just going up and down the other way. So she said they were all in the same column. Look, when we count by 10, they are all in the same column. But let's think what comes before 10.
0. 0 would come before 10 in the pattern. 0 is 10 less than 10.
So she said 0 because, you guys, if we did 10 minus 10, we know that will give us what? That will give us 0.
Let's use a chart to count forward by tens, starting with 5. When you count forward by tens, each number is 10 more than the number before it. Start with 5. The next number is 15. Then comes 25. Next is 35. Then 45 and 55, 65, 75, 85, 95. Look for patterns in the numbers you've counted so far. All of the numbers are in the 5th column of the chart. Every number has a 5 in it, and every number is 10 more than the number before it. Let's continue to count forward by tens. What number comes next?
So she used a lot of words there, friends. Remember, the column is this going down. And she said, I noticed some patterns. One pattern I wonder if you guys noticed is there are 5s in every single one of the numbers. Another pattern is that these numbers are going up by 10 every time. So we don't have to count by tens over here. Just 10, 20, 30, 40. We can count by tens in any column. 5, 15, 25, 35, 45, 55, 65, 75, 85, 95. That's counting by tens too. We've just never done it like that before. So think to yourself, what would be 10 more and be under 95 in our column? Well, let's go down and see. That's the number 105. So let's find it over here.
That's right. The next number is 105. Continue counting by tens. What's the next number?
And if we have the number 105 here, our last number in our column should be the final number counting by tens. So let's go down one more. 115, and let's find it over here.
That's right. The next number is 115.
Awesome job, you guys. So to review, we don't only have to count by tens the way we know. We can count by tens in any column. A column goes up and down, and a row goes side to side.
Now let's practice with the personal math trainer.
So let's see what the personal math trainer has for us today. Probably just going to do one with you guys. It says, start on 48 and count by tens. What number is after 58 and before 78? So Mrs. Maris is going to get out of my toolkit a hundreds chart because it would be so hard to do this without that. And when you guys are doing your work in your workbook, there should be a 120 chart somewhere in that workbook. My advice is to use it while you are working because Mrs. Maris, if we were in the classroom, I would have your own personal one for you guys. But since we're not, that's my advice. Okay, so they said start on 48 and count by tens. What number is after 58 and before 78? So first we have to find the number 48. Okay, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. So start on 48 and count by tens. Remember, we're going to stay in the same column, which means we're going up and down. So count by tens with me. 48, 58, 68, 78, 88, 98, 108, 118. So we know we counted by tens because we stayed in the same column. And now let's see what they want us to figure out. Start on 48 and count by tens. Did we do that, first graders? Yes. What number is after 58 but before 78? So let's find 58 to start because that's a lot of information. Find 58. What number comes after 58? Let's look down. That's the number 68. Okay, so that works. But they also want to know what number comes before 78. So let's find 78. And before means up. It's the number 68 again. So we can, I'm going to move this down, and we can say the number is 68. And let's check our answer.
Great work.
Good job, you guys. So you are going to be working in your textbook on pages, this page, 337. And look, they've already got that hundreds chart for you. This page, 338. And this page, 339. I believe that is all you guys need to do, but let me just double check for you to make sure. And while I'm double checking, my advice for you is that while you are doing all of these problems, please make sure that you're looking back at your hundreds chart to help you out, because that will really, really help you when you're doing this work. Okay, you guys. Yep, so you're going to stop on page 339. If you want a challenge, you can go to this page, but you do not need to do it. So I hope you have happy math learning today, you guys. I hope your brains are growing bigger and bigger every day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, first grade.